Hello everyone. Get ready to join us on an exciting journey as we travel from the majestic Kelpies Strait into the vibrant energy of Glasgow. Imagine settling into a comfortable hotel for a relaxing night. We'll spend the day discovering the city's incredible sights and stories on a fantastic bus tour right in Glasgow's bustling city center. From the Kelpies to Glasgow City Centre, we will be driving for approximately 30 to 45 minutes under normal conditions. I've been to Scotland a few times, visiting Edinburgh, Inverness, Loch Lomond, and others. For no reason, visiting Glasgow didn't come up to our itinerary. But today, we definitely put Glasgow to be part of this visit. We finally arrived in Glasgow, and this is our first proper stop after quite the journey. After nearly 4 hours on the road, driving all the way from Manchester through the Kelpies, and now here, a quick break is definitely in order. I'm taking a much-needed deserved rest and grabbing a coffee before we finally head into Glasgow City Centre. It's been a long drive, but the excitement for what's next is building. I am excited to do a bus tour, which I have never done before. Glasgow City Centre feels grand, gritty, and fiercely energetic all at once, blending towering Victorian architecture with bustling pedestrian avenues, striking street art, and a famously warm, quick-witted local atmosphere. So here we are. We are taking a bus tour, a city sightseeing of Glasgow. I am taking a front seat of this double-decker bus. From our prime vantage point right here in the front seat of this double-decker bus, we're about to embark on a truly immersive sightseeing adventure.
Lovely stonework all in here. There's a big ship's galleon as the weather vane of this building. If anyone's curious, the man in the plinth in the middle of George Square is Sir Walter Scott, very famous novelist who wrote Waverley and Rob Roy. The building at the end of the square is the municipal building of Glasgow, the city chambers. Those were opened by Queen Victoria when they were built. There's actually peregrine falcons that live in the belfry of this building right now. It might be too hot for them today. We tend to only really see them on kind of grey, overcast days. But very, very cool. The building on the other side of the square with the big glass top, that used to be the main post office here in Glasgow. And I believe that big glass house at the top is now like private apartments, so that's pretty bougie.
This is where the city sightseeing bus tour starts. This is the George Square. George Square is the principal civic heart of Glasgow, featuring the ornate Glasgow City Chambers on its eastern side. The landmark public space is undergoing a major £20 million redevelopment and phased reopening, with full completion expected by late October 2026.
Don't be down that it's not open now, it's just a big square. You're here seeing it in a transitionary period. What they're actually doing is they're making this square actually look a lot more like it did pre-1970s. The square was entirely paved over until very recently. They're adding a lot of green space into it. All the statues, there's a big statue of Queen Elizabeth is usually there.
There's something uniquely special about experiencing a city from the top deck of a bus, isn't there? Especially from the very front. It's like having a panoramic window to the soul of the place, offering a perspective you just can't get any other way. You feel connected to the streets below, yet elevated enough to take in the grand scale of the architecture and the sprawling urban landscape. As we begin to roll, let's talk a little about what makes Glasgow, well, Glasgow. This isn't just a collection of buildings. It's a living, breathing entity with a rich tapestry woven from centuries of innovation, resilience, and creativity. From its humble beginnings as a small rural settlement on the River Clyde, next we have which is standing far from where we are now. British Empire. This historic landmark is the Tolbooth Steeple, a powerhouse, a 126-foot tall stone clock tower located at Glasgow Cross. Built in 1626, it is the only remaining part of the old Tolbooth buildings, which functioned as the city's main administrative and judicial center until the 19th century. The site serves as a major junction in the city center of Glasgow, connecting historic streets like Trongate, High Street, and Gallowgate. This building is the Monteath Mausoleum, a circular red sandstone structure located in the Glasgow necropolis in Scotland. It was designed in a neo-Norman style by architect David Cousin to resemble the Knights Templar Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Cambridge. This is the former R.F.&J. Alexander's cotton spinning mill, a Category B listed building located at 100 Duke Street in Glasgow. Designed by Charles Wilson and constructed in 1848, it was formerly known as the Great Eastern Hotel and later converted into residential flats in 2009. The property is situated in the Dennistown area, with recent rental listings for flats in the development appearing in March 2024. Next we have which is standing far from where we are now. This historic landmark is the Tolbooth Steeple, a 126-foot tall stone clock tower located at Glasgow Cross. Built in 1626, it is the only remaining part of the old Tolbooth buildings, which functioned as the city's main administrative and judicial center until the 19th century. The site serves as a major junction in the city center of Glasgow, connecting historic streets like Trongate, High Street, and Gallowgate. This landmark is the Dolton Fountain located in Glasgow Green, Scotland. It is known as the largest terracotta fountain in the world, originally built in 1888 for the International Exhibition. The fountain features ornate Victorian details celebrating Britain's imperial history and industrial achievements. And this is the People's Palace, a social history museum and glasshouse located in Glasgow Green. The building was designed by A.B. MacDonald in a Renaissance style and opened on January 22, 1898. It is currently closed for refurbishment, with its reopening date unclear due to funding issues. The landmark shown is the MacLennan Arch, located at the entrance to Glasgow Green in Scotland. Originally part of the city's assembly rooms in 1796, it was moved to its current location in 1991. The arch features neoclassical architecture with Corinthian columns and relief panels. It serves as a historic backdrop for events, protests, and park visitors. This appears to be a view of the South Portland Street Suspension Bridge over the River Clyde in Glasgow, Scotland. The area shown is likely part of the Glasgow Green Loop along the Clyde Walkway. The original bridge towers have stood since 1853, making it one of the oldest bridge structures across the Clyde. The surrounding area features scenic walking paths and grassy areas used for recreation. This is the BBC Scotland headquarters located at Pacific Quay in Glasgow. This facility houses both television and radio studios for the national broadcaster. IT is situated near the River Clyde. The building is a prominent landmark in the area. The BBC studio is overlooking from our hotel window.
As we come back across here, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk a little bit about
the big crane in Glasgow is the famous Finnieston crane, also called the Stobcross crane. Built in 1932, this 53-meter-tall, giant cantilever crane on the River Clyde is a proud symbol of the city's rich shipbuilding and industrial past. Used historically to load heavy cargo, ship engines, and steam locomotives onto cargo ships. Heritage and legacy, it is one of only 4 surviving giant cantilever cranes on the River Clyde, and among just 11 left in the entire world. Though no longer operational, it serves as an unofficial emblem of Glasgow and a monument to its engineering prowess. And this in front of us is the Ovio Hydro Arena, which hosted the opening ceremony for the 2026 Commonwealth Games. Designed by Foster Plus Partners, the arena features a distinctive elliptical shape inspired by ancient Greek and Roman amphitheaters. Opened in 2013, it has a capacity of 14,300 and is Scotland's largest entertainment venue. This in front may look like the Australia's Opera House. It was not patterned after anything in it, though its appearance frequently draws comparisons to the iconic Sydney Opera House. The SEC Armadillo was actually designed by the architectural firm Foster Plus Partners, with inspiration taken directly from Scotland's rich shipbuilding heritage. The building's overlapping, armored aesthetic is meant to represent an interlocking series of ship hulls, a deliberate homage to the historic industrial shipyards lining the River Clyde.
Both great concerts. All of this space, this is all going to be was built here. You might see it's kind of semi-transparent, you can look into it, but that hexagon material around the edge makes it a tremendously good conductor of light. This whole thing is lit up every evening. Until very, very recently, this was the home of one of the big fan zones for Scotland away in the World Cup. It was the first time we were there since I was in a high chair, guys. It meant a big deal. But I can only imagine this place was a riot at like 5:30 when they chucked out for the first game. Our next stop is going to be number 18 for the Clydeside Distillery, which is just in here. Now, interestingly, all of that parking area that you're looking at, that's actually reclaimed land. This was previously known as the Queen's Dock, so all of that would have been waterway and would have been part of the river for larger ships to dock inside. This little distillery, which is now the only one inside the actual city boundaries of Glasgow, is built into another one of these old, previously derelict pumping stations.
On the right-hand side shows a series of vibrant murals painted on railway arches, likely part of the Yardworks project in Glasgow, Scotland. The artwork stretches along the Clydeside Expressway, transforming derelict infrastructure with colorful paintings by various artists. Projects like this are part of an effort to revitalize the area and showcase local and international artistic talent.
That there, SWG3, is sometimes called Swedge. That's one of the newest kind of dance nightclubs in the city. There's lots of event stuff going on there. But this up ahead, this kind of funky building, is the Riverside Museum. Really, really tremendous layout. It's a big museum to transporting heritage and history. So they've got a lot of these old kind of big steam trains inside. You're allowed to jump up and climb on top of them, pretty cool. We've got old trams from the 1950s, from the kind of late 19th century. Cars from pretty much every aspect of history you can imagine. There's also a lot of kind of social history from Glasgow in there. I've actually got a recreated 19th century street in there.
This is the Riverside Museum. It is Scotland's Museum of Transport and Travel, designed by architect Zaha Hadid. The building features a distinctive zinc-clad roof with a nautical theme.
Behind that big museum building, there's a big ship's mast.
Designed by the renowned architect Zaha Hadid, its striking, zigzagging roofline and innovative design are truly captivating. It's a building that perfectly reflects the dynamic and ever-changing nature of transport itself. It's a shame that we were not able to experience what's inside.
The Riverside Museum is completely free to go into. Treat yourself to an ice cream as you jump in. And if you want to jump on the tall ship and explore there, that's only about 4 minutes. Disease, particularly in a harsh climate like Glasgow's, respiratory diseases like tuberculosis. So people that had money in those days, including the people who ran the university, decided to come here to escape the urban sprawl of the industrial Glasgow. And so this part of the city, the West End, is really built up on the money, the wealthy urban flight from the traditional centre of Glasgow. Thank you. I tell you, when someone tells me otherwise, that's the big fun. But no, thank you, I appreciate that.
Where's the focus?
The what?
Arctic Festival?
Arctic Festival, yeah, that is part of it. That's so the mainstay of Arctic is actually kind of behind us. This is kind of where it all meets with Finiston and the real heart of the West End there. Also, look to your left, you'll see now, as we cross over the bridge here to the left, there's actually a lovely river walk you can do. It'll take you right to the other side of Kelvin Grove Park with lovely Victorian botanical gardens. But here on our left, stop 21, the Kelvin Grove Art Gallery Museum. This is the last of the great British Victorian museums, built in 1901, the year of her death, and the end of the kind of great British history of antiquarianism. You can see just about everything in this museum: Egyptian mummies, kinetic jars, a Spitfire hanging from the roof, largest collection of taxidermied animals. There's also a very, very moving war monument there. Very, very, it's usually covered up by things here, but it's a very, very lovely memorial there. But yeah, the museum itself, also an absolutely stunning building, worthy of the collection it holds. This is probably my #1 recommendation to people coming to Glasgow to go and see the museum as well. You might see the front entrance is a bit scaffolded up right now. That's to repair damage from quite a bad hurricane we had here about a year ago. But the rear entrance of this building is even grander than the one at the front. You might see the big tall towers behind it. But there's a very, very famous local legend about this museum that it was accidentally built back to front. The story goes that the architect, so dismayed by this mistake, threw himself from the top belfry. Now, it's not actually true, but it is a very, very widespread kind of local legend. But the reason that this museum is built with a very grand rear entrance facing the park is because it was built during a big imperial exhibition at the end of the 19th century. If you're familiar with the concept of a World's Fair, basically that was all happening here in Glasgow. You also get a lovely look at the university there. Straight on view of the building. That big iconic spire in the tower was never part of the original design. The architect designing this building passed away during its construction. It was his son that took over the process, and he added the spire as a tribute to his late father. Powered by helium balloons with a plane propeller, so this floating monorail system that would take you all the way to the other side of the park. Really, really weird technology here 100 years ago. You might spot up there this kind of big Kelvin Grove Park circus, big fancy apartments that wouldn't go out of place in some of the fancier parts of London. Again, this part of the city was built up by a lot of money, people fleeing from the now busy industrial centre. Out of our front window and to the right as we turn though, you're going to see the lovely ash tree in Finiston.
Finiston is a trendy neighbourhood in Glasgow, Scotland. Located on the north bank of the River Clyde between the city centre and the West End, it is widely known as a top cultural hub packed with acclaimed restaurants, bars, and major entertainment venues.
Getting home insurance in there is probably a nightmare. But this is Finiston now. This is another kind of really nice trendy part of the city. Lots of students, lots of nice cuisine around here. As we come through here, if you look to your right or maybe to your left, you might already see some of these old ghost signs that are shining through. We've taken down a lot of the newer ones. Newsagents and tobacconists, I'll translate that for you. That's newsagent and vape shop today, if anyone's wondering.
I'm going to...
Our next stop is going to be stop number 22 for the Hidden Lane. If anyone wants to know where the Hidden Lane is, I can't tell you because that's kind of the point. Okay, I'll tell you. The inland's just there on the right hand side as we pass by. Lovely little out of the way spots, got a nice tea room inside, you can book in for a cream tea, little artist studios, independent sellers. Nice little out of the way part in this part of the city. Just in there. Up ahead on our left is the Dirty Duchess, a pub that I am absolutely barred from. Like wanted poster behind the bar style. I walked in and they were like, nah, you out. So I don't remember what I'd done, but it was serious enough apparently. Great place to visit though. To our right hand side you'll see these orange train cars. Those are the old Glasgow subway cars that used to run. They ran from about 1978 till like last year. Also, if you look up to the left, you might see some of these buildings have this kind of little iron ornamentation on them. These little bits of rusted up iron. For a lot of people that came from the Riverside Museum, you might already be able to guess what those are. Those are the old arms that used to hold the electrified wires for the widespread tram system that ran through Glasgow. You may see some here on the left next to these boarded up windows. Or bricked up, sorry, that's not boarded up. Now dead ahead of me here and off our right hand side as we turn, you'll see the man with the cone in his head currently, beloved son of the city and artist, Charles Rennie Mackintosh is the man on the chair. We're still lucky to have some of his work standing here in the city. Two lovely ladies were just telling me they went to the Mackintosh house. There's also the tea rooms. There's one on Sucky Hall Street and Buchanan Street. We have another big house in the south side of the city called the House of an Art Lover. It's in Bellahouston Park. It's a big kind of wedding reception venue now for most of the time. Very, very famously in the city centre of Glasgow, there's the Glasgow School of Art, absolutely astounding building, but sadly it's currently being renovated after its second major fire. What happened was the building caught on fire. We spent 2 years fixing it back up. A week before it reopened, the fire completely gutted the entire building from top to bottom, and it's been years and years of reconstruction work since. Probably nothing. If you look a bit further around though to your left hand side, you'll see the big copper green dome. That's for the Mitchell Library. It was for its time the largest reference library in Europe. It has the original lyrics to Auld Lang Syne in the archives and everything. Now up ahead of us here, we're going to come, there's this lovely red stone church on the left. It's St Columba. St Columba, very, very famously said to be the man who brought Christianity to parts of Scotland. But this is known more commonly in Glasgow as the Highland Cathedral, because it was the only Gaelic language service church in the city. To our right hand side, we're going to pass by one of my favourite buildings, the St Vincent's Church, made by Alexander Greek Thompson. All of those famous Greek architectural cues, the big columns, the pattern work around the side, the column work at the top of the tower. Now guys, you don't necessarily need to be an architect to say that that building isn't in its best condition right now. That little garden around the first level is unfortunately not part of the design. Now, Glasgow's a city with a really stunning built heritage that in some ways it struggles to meet. Up ahead here though, stop number 23 is for Blankswood Square. A very posh part of Glasgow. These Georgian terraces, these are private gardens. No worries, careful on the stairs there. I used to laugh, people used to always tell me that the subway offices were here and I thought they meant the underground train. They don't, they mean the sandwich shop. Big thanks to folks that joined Famous Department though. We have fun.
It's a great commentary.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Enjoy yourselves, guys.
Back
Enjoy yourselves.
Thanks. Bye.
What's interesting as well, I'm going to draw your attention, if you kind of look behind us, you might see over there, there's a building kind of in that corner back to the right hand side. It's kind of black, quite dark. It looks as if it's built with a different type of stone than all of the rest of these, but that building was built at the exact same time as a lot of this square in this quadrant. The reason that building is so much darker is not because it's built with any different stone, it's just that all of these other buildings have been power washed. That's just covered in years and years of thick Victorian smog. It cost the city the equivalent of millions in the late 60s, early 70s to essentially power wash every building in the city to get it off. Now this is West George Street. There's very, very few streets more emblematic of this city and how much money used to flow through it than here. Over our left hand side you're going to see this big red building. Look above the doorway, there'll be two big walruses flanking a lighthouse, and further up a big statue of Neptune, big golden trident. Actually that might be Columbia there. Arctic. There was a garden up there until very recently. They just got rid of some of the foliage. But that was a big ship's insurance carrier building. If you were sending goods abroad, they would give you insurance on your cargo. This building was the old Fire and Life. You see above the doorway, big bust of a man with a blindfold. That's to signify impartiality in all of their dealings. Lovely Art Nouveau building, beautiful stonework at the top. Below though, Fusarella's is actually one of the earliest Italian restaurants that was established in the city and still runs. A lot of people are unaware how much Italian immigration there was to Glasgow, quite a lot. And thank God for our culinary scene. Down there is a pot still, very, very famous whiskey bar here in Glasgow. But to our left, we're going to pass this kind of very, very lovely beachy sandstone building. Again, this is just a great place to kind of look up, really marvel at how much amazing stonework there is in this city. These little Corinthian columns there. Corinthian is a fancy curly column at the top, if anyone wonders. Welcome to Architecture Crash Course with City Sightseeing. But this big building here, the big sandy one with the oval windows at the bottom, this was previously an ironmonger's warehouse. Those big inscriptions of candelabra are quite common in those types of buildings. Not just in Glasgow, but I believe in other parts of Scotland and possibly in parts of England as well. Like I say, I'm not really an architecture expert necessarily. Shooting my own, a bit of a humble brag there. Again, really, really amazing stonework, masonry in this building. The Pearl Assurance Company here, really nice. The look here, this is the Fife Chamber. It's really, really amazing statues at the top of this building. Very, very grand. Stop 24 is going to be just a bit up ahead of us here, by the way, guys, if anyone's jumping out. But again, standing around here, looking at these buildings, it can make you a little bit melancholy to kind of look at. The Indian House is a lot older. That goes back to the 18th century. The lovely Art Deco bank here is from the 1930s. I believe it used to be the RBS building. Very, very grand. It's Shilling Brewing today. Shilling Brewing actually offer pints that go up to 15% proof. That's for when you tell the missus you're going out for one. Now you're going to come down here, there's a couple of interesting points. This place is now called Nelson Mandela Place. It was named as such because this is where the South African embassy was, right in there at the height of apartheid. So it was quite a slight to the South African government at the time to name the place after Nelson Mandela. This stunning building here is the old Scottish Stock Exchange, or the Glasgow Stock Exchange. On this side you see these masonry, these statues to the main industries, mining, engineering, building. The other one has science, artistry, and something else. But this is us, we're coming back into George Square. This is where our tour begins and ends. Stop number 1. There's still a couple of things to look at here. There's this absolutely stunning building that I haven't figured out what it is yet, so give me some time, come back in a while. But this building to our right is the old Merchants Hall of Glasgow. Look down below, below these windows, you see these big statues of women holding it up. Really, really amazing artistry, lovely stonework all in here. There's a big ship's galleon as the weather vane of this building. If anyone's curious, the man in the plinth in the middle of George Square is Sir Walter Scott, very, very famous novelist who wrote Waverley and Rob Roy. The building at the end of the square is the municipal building of Glasgow, the city chambers. Those were opened by Queen Victoria when they were built. There's actually peregrine falcons that live in the belfry of this building right now. It might be too hot for them today. We tend to only really see them on kind of grey, overcast days. But very, very cool. The building on the other side of the square with the big glass top, that used to be the main post office here in Glasgow. And I believe that that big glass house at the top is now like private apartments, so that's pretty bougie. But yes, I want to say a really, really big thank you to everyone that's joined today. I hope it's been a really fun tour. Interesting stuff. The square was entirely paved over until very recently. They're adding a lot of green space into it. All the statues, there's a big statue of Queen Elizabeth is usually there. All of these statues are going to be brought back. They're just being tidied up and polished, having like 5 decades of pigeon poo removed from them. But again guys, really, really big thanks for joining. This bus will continue on a little bit later on. Sadly, I will not be the guide on it. But thank you. I've never had a round of applause in this. Thank you guys, it's so lovely.
Very cool.
Oh, smash.
This journey, from our front row seat on the double-decker, has hopefully given you a taste of the incredible depth and diversity that Glasgow offers. It's a city that embraces its past while constantly looking to the future, a place of innovation, creativity, and genuine warmth. Beyond the landmarks and the architecture, what truly defines Glasgow is its people. Glaswegians are renowned for their warmth, their wit, and their incredible sense of humor. There's a genuine friendliness here, a willingness to engage, and a resilience that has seen the city through countless transformations. You'll hear the distinctive Glaswegian accent, a melodic and often humorous dialect that is as much a part of the city's charm as its grand buildings. It's been an absolute pleasure sharing the beauty and the spirit of Glasgow with you from this fantastic vantage point. I truly hope you've enjoyed every moment of this journey and that it inspires you to delve even deeper into all that this magnificent city has to offer. Thank you for watching.